Welcome, friends, to this new series of learning Google Cloud Platform, Google Cloud Storage. So, in this particular lecture, we will see how we can create the Google Cloud Storage Bucket inside our Google Cloud Platform. So, this is our Google Cloud Web Console, and we are under the Google Cloud Storage. So either you can use the text search button to search for GCS. That will bring you to cloud storage section, or you can navigate through these hamburger menu and go to this cloud storage bucket. So first and foremost thing, we are going to click this create button to create one bucket. Now here we are going to keep some globally unique name. Now, if I specify, for example, just sample, you will see that this bucket name is already taken. So here we're going to keep a very unique name, that is sample learning light bucket for demo, which is really no one used ever before. So this is a unique in globally. So it's a globally unique bucket name, and here we can optionally keep some label. So label is just some key value pair to identify this particular bucket. For future reference, we can have several use cases where we can take the help of labels for different purpose. So for now, I'm just keeping these labels. I'm just going to say continue, and here we need to specify the location type where we are going to keep our bucket objects to be stored. Now, here we are having three kinds of locations. First is multi-region. So the multi-region is basically used for highest availability across largest area. So here we are having three options. One is US, Asia Pacific, and European Union. So now when you choose these US, so multiple regions in United States, the bucket objects will be replicated, so that if, for example, for any reason the Dallas region goes down, you can have your bucket objects available in other region, say for example, the Iowa. So multiple regions in United States, these particular bucket will be stored, and Google doesn't specify which particular location it is going to keep, but it is definitely within the United States. If you click Asia, it will be stored in multiple regions in Asia, maybe in Delhi, Mumbai, Singapore. So in different locations in Asia. Similarly, you can keep your bucket in EU region. So you can specifically storing your data across the geography, so that your chance of losing the data is almost zero. So, but here you're going to pay a little bit of money for this replication, and it's almost $0.02 per GB per month. And for keeping this storage in multi-region, you have to pay $0.06026 per GB per month. Now, if we really specify a regional one, then you can see the jump, and you no need to pay anything for the replication. So your buckets will be within a single region, and still it will be replicated within different availability zones inside the region. So, for example, in US East 1, your bucket will be replicated in US East 1 A, B, and C regions. And similarly, if I'm going to keep it in Iowa, still it is being replicated in different zones, but definitely it is not across the region. So if the complete Iowa region is out, your data is not accessible. But that doesn't mean that your data is lost. Whenever the Iowa region will be back, your data will be back as well. So it's 11 times durable, and there is a very little chance you are going to lose your data. But if there is some disaster happens in a particular region, your data might be unavailable at that time. And that is why these dual region and multi regions come to the picture, but you need to pay a little bit more money. For dual region, you really have the option to choose specific two regions within which your data is going to be stored. But here you have to pay per region basis. For example, here I have choose Iowa and South Carolina. So I'm going to pay $0.022 per GB per month per region. So here 2 times per region. And also we are going to pay the replication charge as well. Now, here we are having the problem with latency, because the lowest latency is with regional, but it is going higher if we're going to replicate in different regions and zones. So here in dual region, you are having the options like add turbo replication. So it will basically target an asynchronous data replication, which is going to guarantee you for 15 minutes. So the data is asynchronously replicated and the latency will be really low. So if you click this double application, the double application charge is little more. It's just $0.04 per GB per month. So I'm just going to keep it regional, and I'm going to keep it in South Iowa region, and it's US Central 1A. And I'm going to click continue. Here you have the options for storage classes. Now you can specify the storage class where by default your objects will be stored in which class. So for example, if you are having very frequently accessed data, you can choose the standard class. And in standard class, you actually no need to pay something to retrieve the data. So here, standard has replicated multi-regional and regional as the hot storage class in these form. And these won't change your bucket's cost or behavior. The next is nearline, and if your data is accessed less than a month, then you can use this nearline class to save some cost. So for example, if we choose standard, we can see it's for central one region, you have to pay $0.02 per GB per month, whereas if you click nearline, it's just half of it. And if you go to full line, again, it is cheaper than nearline and it's just $0.04. For archive, it is going to be the cheapest one. Okay, but you need to pay some one-time recurring charge when you are going to get the data back from archive. So if you are not aware of the pattern of the access of your data, then you can go for auto class, which will automatically transition your each object to standard or nearline class based on the object level activity to optimize the cost and latency. So if you really don't know how your data is going to be retrieved or accessed, then you just choose the auto class, but it will not move your objects to full line and archive class, but it will keep your classes within standard and nearline. Okay. So for now, let me select the standard one and click the next. And here we need to specify the access control of my objects. Now see, I can definitely prevent our public access by just clicking this one, okay? And here, actually, I'm just enforcing the public access prevention on these buckets so that my data will not be public, okay? But definitely, I can change these after the creation of the bucket as well. So for now, I mean, I just keep it as ticked. That is, my bucket is not going to be a public one, okay? So, and access control, even I can change it later as well. So uniform is all the bucket objects will be uniformly having the same kind of permission, IAM level permission. So it's not object to object basis. Uniformly, all the permissions will be given. If I choose fine grained, then it's not for the entire bucket level. Rather, it's definitely for very much object specific. I can individually change the permission for each object. I can click it uniform and continue. Now here the data protection comes in the picture where we can have the object versioning, retention, and custom soft delete. We will go each of them in deep in upcoming lectures, but let me give you a brief introduction of these things. So if you click this bucket object versioning, so this object versioning is basically going to keep you a different versions of same object at the same time so that you can accidentally, if there is any situation occurs, your data got deleted, then this object versioning will help you to restore the data from its older version so that even in case you delete the object accidentally, you can actually restore the data from the older version. So this is for object versioning. Retention is just for the compliance purpose. You need to retain the data in your buckets for a longer period of time. You can keep this retention, and if you keep this retention, you have to provide some kind of retention policy and enable the object retention as well. And if you want to click this crash enabled, then you can click this custom stop delete policy. And here, basically, you need to specify how much time you want to retain your data before it is completely deleted from the system. And you have to specify the retention level accordingly. So if you choose 7 days, then after deletion of the data, it will keep it 7 days inside the bucket, and it will perform a soft delete rather than a hard delete on the object. Okay, so I'm not going to keep this right now enabled. I'm just going to click create. Now here, it is saying that I'm just enforcing the public access prevention on this bucket. That will basically, this bucket is set to prevent exposure of its data to the public internet. I am not going to expose my data into the public, and that's the reason I just intentionally keep this checked. But again, I can change it anytime after this confirmation. So let me create this bucket. See, my bucket is created. Now, literally, I can upload one object over here. So let me upload one existing object that is my Learning Light logo. And this object is actually uploaded over here. That's excellent. Let me go through these different tabs for this bucket. So first and foremost is the configuration. You can see that whatever we have configured during the creation of the bucket, it's basically mentioned that when it was created, what exactly the location of this particular bucket, and what is the storage class. And you can see I can really edit the storage class as well, even creation after creating this bucket as well. So requested pay is basically who is going to pay for this object. So whether it is the owner of this particular bucket or somebody who is going to upload the data inside this object. So basically, in that particular purpose, if I just want somebody who is uploading the data, I just need him to pay my to get the service for this bucket, then I can just click it on. Okay. And its tags and labels I discussed earlier that it is just going for some paperwork purpose. We can have these easily accessible when we just keep these labels and tags. Okay. And here we have given one cloud console URL. So if I copy this one, and if I go ahead and paste this one over here, let's see what I can see. It is basically allowing me to go to this particular bucket location. So if you don't have the access of my console, Google Cloud Console, you can't able to use this bucket link. Okay. And over here, it is saying that I have the access control as uniform, and I have enabled the public access via bucket setting. Now I can go to this permission, and you can see, though I have enabled, though I have provided the consent that I don't need the public access. It's saying that I don't have the public access, and it is saying the principal restricted from the bucket access from all users and all authenticated users. So in the upcoming lecture, we will see how we can actually enable the buckets to have the public access. So for now, I can't able to access our object from the public. Okay. And this is the protection. Even we can change them. We can enable the trash. We can enable the soft delete policy over here. And it is saying that currently the retention period is by default 7 days. Okay, object versioning, we didn't on the object versioning. Definitely we will play around all of these, each one of these in upcoming lectures. Even I don't want to go to life cycle. What exactly is this? We will have the complete lecture on this, and then we can provide the demo of life cycle and other stuff as well. Let me go to this object, and let me show you how we can have the hierarchical structure inside our bucket. So apart from these upload files and upload folders, we can literally create a folder for our own purpose, and we can say new folder, and we can create the folder. And even inside this new folder, I can create another folder which is called new folder 2, and we can have this folder inside the new folder, and we can see how beautifully this hierarchical structure is being built over here. So now let's go over there, and let me delete the folder which is basically not needed. So I'm just going to delete the folders, and now I'm going to access this particular object. Now here you can see my beautiful picture is coming over here, and I am given one authenticated URL. Okay, but I don't have any public URL. So if I copy this one, and let me open one private window, and if I paste this over here, I need to provide my account details to logged in to get that particular object. All right, so that's it for today's lecture, and in upcoming lecture we will go deep into this, and we will see how we can make a picture visible for outside world, so that we can access this particular picture. Whatever we have uploaded in the bucket, we can access it from public. So thank you for watching this video, friends. In this particular lecture, we have learned how we can create a bucket, what are the different things we need to keep in our mind during creation of the bucket. In the upcoming lecture, we will see each of these different stuffs and different things, and we will go deep into that in the upcoming lectures. Till then, thank you, goodbye, be safe.